Broadcasting. All right. This is the Borough of Crafton Council meeting for December 14th, 2020. Call to order. Going to begin with a flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Okay. Mr. Alo?
Here.
Mr. Amendola?
Here.
Mr. Kraus?
Here.
Mr. Crown?
Here.
Mr. Lavasser?
Here.
Ms. Perry?
Here.
Mr. Saba?
Here.
Mayor Bloom?
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum. Also in attendance is Ms. Malik from our solicitor's office. We have Jen Slagle here from Gateway Engineers and myself. So we can begin the meeting.
Thank you. We're going to start the agenda off a little differently than we have in past. It's just organized a little differently. We have the approval of the minutes for November 23rd, 2020, and the bills list for December 14th, 2020. If anybody has any questions or comments, please raise your hand at this time. All right. A motion, I move to approve the December 14th, 2020 consent agenda.
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All that oppose? None that oppose? Motion passes. Thank you. Moving forward to citizen comments. Mr. Alo, please keep track of the guests that raise their hands. Citizen comments, please note that all public comments will be heard at the beginning of the meeting due to the online meeting format. At this time, citizens may address the Borough Council. Speakers will be permitted to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes. Please state your name and physical address for the record.
The first one I saw pop up was a Tom Crawford, so I'm gonna. Tom, you should be able to speak now. Can you please start with your name and address?
Hi, everyone. Yes, my name's Tom Crawford, live at 187 Noble Avenue.
Thank you.
May I begin?
Yes, please proceed.
Oh, yes, sorry. I would just wanted to follow up briefly with the shooting that occurred on Union and Sydney there last week. And I just wanted to thank the borough for their, and the police department for their thorough investigation. And just wanted to take from my corner, my sleepy little corner of Crafton, the concern that myself and a lot of the immediate neighbors have for this. I understand it's an isolated incident with maybe a rental home that maybe doesn't have the most law-abiding tenants in it. And I would just like to express my concern that 10 shots were fired in Crafton, and I just find that scary, fearful. I'm fearful of that. So, and the other question I did have was I was kind of curious when the new traffic lights are going to be working. So if I could just implore the borough to continue the investigation if needed on the shooting, and I appreciate your service very much and your dedication to the community. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll address both those items in the first part of the meeting here. If you could hang us in with us, at least through the engineer's report, that'd be appreciated. All right. Anybody else?
Yes, there's one more hand. It's Alice Glasser. I'm going to enable talking. Alice, if you could please begin with your name and address and then proceed.
Hello, Alice Glosser, 10 Belvedere Street in Crafton. I would like a full explanation and an honest explanation of the firing, supposedly resignation of our latest of 3 of the last 5 borough managers. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a personnel matter, and we are not going to be speaking about that on the floor. Next.
We don't have anybody with their hands currently raised, but anybody that's in attendance, if you have not already spoken and would like to speak, please utilize the raise hand feature, and I will call on you to enable speaking.
No one else?
I guess, well, Mr. Crawford had re-raised his hand. I will note that he did not exhaust 3 minutes, so I'll leave that to the chair's discretion.
Yes. Mr. Crawford, you may speak again.
Yes, thank you. I apologize. Just to follow up with the lady, Mrs. I missed your name, but I just like raised some concern that we've gone through a lot of borough managers in the last 5 years here, and I understand we can't speak about that specifically due to personnel matters, but what is the overarching condition that we continue to lose our borough managers, and what can be done to improve that situation and the tenure thereof? Thank you.
Thank you. Again, given that it was a personnel matter, I'm not at liberty to go into the details. However, I will say the leaders of the community are the people that you're seeing before you, the 7 elected members. The community should be assured that the democratic process does work, and that's why we're all here, and we've been here with everybody through thick and thin. And we appreciate the service of the various people that have been in the employ of the borough. However, we're not going to discuss the various different personnel matters on the floor. Thank you very much. All right. Mr. Aiello, may I proceed?
Yes, there's nobody else with their hand raised.
Thank you. All right. President's report. So we've had a very challenging year as a nation. I just wanted to thank each and every one of you out there that have followed all the rules that have been coming down to us from the White House, from the governor's office, from the county administrators, and from our own humble offices here in Crafton. If it wasn't for the cooperation of our residents, we wouldn't be where we are today. We have had a very low infection rate in the borough of Crafton with regards to COVID-19. And we've really done the best we could to protect our employees, and they're our first and foremost concern as your leaders. So with that, I want to thank each and every member of council and of the staff for staying safe, adhering to the mandates that have come down to us with regards to this infectious disease. And it's really shown us how strong we are as a community. We are one Crafton. We are doing the best we can with the circumstances. We have a wonderful volunteer pool that have put on a nice festival of lights. If you look at the town, we have the Crafton Elves that have worked diligently with the volunteers on the rec board to put on a light show. And then we have the individual residents that have decorated their homes and have really done an outstanding job of bringing joy to each one of us through this very challenging time. I will speak for myself that 2020 was probably one of the most difficult times of my life. In the beginning of the year, I lost my father, and it was something I never thought I would have to, live through it, even though it's something we all know is inevitable. And I speak for a couple other members of council who also experienced loss close to home. So if it wasn't for each member of council, the staff, and the residents supporting us in our roles here, we wouldn't have been able to do the job. And we may have our fair share of disagreements and differences, but we have really worked together. And I want to say thank you to the Crafton Police Department, the Crafton Public Works Department, the staff in the office, the Crafton Fire Department. You all have done an admirable job, and the job's not over. We're still going to be dealing with the situation at hand with the pandemic well into 2021. And I just know we all are yearning for some normalcy. We are living in times that are very unnormal. And we just appreciate your patience and the sense of community that we all have here. And that's when things like we heard from Mr. Crawford earlier in the meeting at public comment, when there are issues with violence, even isolated issues of violence, those are things that we take very seriously. I wanted to make it abundantly clear that the Crafton Police Department and the mayor's office is investigating that situation. And then on the administrative side, the borough office is working with code enforcement to ensure that the rules and regulations are put into effect to ensure that bad actors don't find a home here in Crafton. And we really believe Crafton is a safe place to live and raise a family. It's a safe place if you're a senior living out your golden years here, and we want to ensure that it's a safe place for everybody. So your concerns this evening are very important for us to hear, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. That it means a lot that you've all logged on to these Zoom meetings. We have had the most participation in council meetings on regular meetings than we have ever because of our implementation of the Zoom technology. And we're hoping that we can figure out new ways to engage you digitally once things go back to normal and we're in the council chambers. For the time being, we will continue to use the digital platform until conditions change. So again, thank you for hearing me. I've tried to keep these reports brief this year, but given this is the last meeting of the year, I just wanted to let everybody know that we are very appreciative of you being members of our community. Thank you. Mayor, your report.
Well, you covered the items, the incident on Union Avenue is being dealt with by the police department. There have been arrests made for an incident that happened on the 13th. The shooting, which occurred on the 9th, is still under investigation, and Allegheny County and Crafton Police are determining who that person is going to be and will be arrested.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, engineers report.
There's just a few updates since we sent over the report on Friday, one of which regarding North Emily and Johnston sewer repair. So as we work through the redesign on that, I was able to reach out to JetJack to discuss canceling their contract and negotiating a settlement with them. So we are very close to that, and we'll be sending that over to the borough to review and approve that we made a pretty good deal that we feel is very fair to just close that contract out. And once we have the design final, we'll rebid that, so we have competitive bids on the redesign. One other thing I did want to add is as we move into 2021, Rick, Alberto, and I sat down last week and went over all of the projects that were budgeted for 2021. I know there's been a lot of focus on the GROW grants, which is great opportunities. So we've prepared a list of all those projects, and we're going to present that, to the borough and the manager and work through that list and look for other grant opportunities as we focus on some larger and smaller projects, not just some of the, obviously some big projects going on in the borough, but there's lots of things happening, and just wanted to get you up to speed. We'll be presenting something probably in the next month. That's all.
Thank you, Jen. Mr. Saba?
So just a quick question, the rebidding on Johnson Street, was that the one that the sewer line collapsed?
Yes, so the initial repair had degraded beyond the repair method that we had set up in that contract. So the borough would be at a disadvantage if we tried to change that contract for what the new design will be. So in working through staff, we decided that it would be best to just put that back out to public bid. We are going to break that into 2 separate contracts. We have to separate part of the laterals into the existing sewer system and then come up with a redesign for that pipe and determine if it needs to be abandoned or if we can to work to restore it. So we're collecting data now. It's going to take a few months to work with the pipe that has collapsed. But in the meantime, we're going to get those laterals out of there so there will be no lack of service to any of the residents in that area.
Great, thank you.
If I could, Jen, did you want to give a quick update on the green light go?
Sure. Yeah, I know that comment came up as well earlier in the meeting. So the lights will be tested. The electric will be turned on this week from Duquesne Light. Moving into the beginning of January, those lights will go live. There's a 30-day test period. However, the new lights will be functioning once they go live in January. They will be tested by everyone, PennDOT, when they switch over. Then during that month, the old lights will come down, but we still consider that like a tentative process to make sure that all of the loops are working correctly. So they're functioning, the new lights will be live, but any issues we'll be dealing with during that trial period.
Thank you.
So look for that in January.
Thank you. And just to note for the audience, I mean, the reason why there's been some schedule slide here is we're working with Duquesne and PennDOT. I mean, those are the drivers. The contractor did their work, but this is a PennDOT grant, and therefore we have to satisfy the grantor. It's their money, and we have to make sure that we check all the boxes. So again, we appreciate everybody's anticipation of the new lights, and we're just going through the motions just like everybody else. And given the circumstances that we're working with around state schedules, of course the governor's orders, I mean, that has had a major effect on the schedule slide. All right. Anything else for the engineer? All right, moving forward to the solicitor's report. Ms. Malik?
There's no report from the solicitor's office, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Manager's report.
Nothing to report other than the business agenda items that will be forthcoming.
All right, thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So a lot of people, I know we've picked up the leaves and we're soon going into potential plow season. Could you just speak publicly about that transition and where we are?
Yes, thank you, Councilperson Perry. Yes, we are still out collecting leaves, and we will do so until the end of this week. And then we are prepared. We have 3 trucks that are ready for plowing. So there is some winter weather coming perhaps this Wednesday night, Wednesday and Tuesday night, I should say. But yeah, we are prepared, but we are still cleaning up leaves, and it will tail off at the end of this week.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody have any other questions for the manager? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed to the business agenda. All right, first motion, 2021 budget. Motion to adopt the 2021 proposed general fund, sewer fund, road fund, and capital projects budgets as advertised, appropriating specific sums estimated to be required for the specific purposes of the borough government set forth during the year 2021.
So moved.
So moved.
Uh,
Second.
Got that recorded. Any questions, comments about the budget? All right, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Should be done by roll call on that one.
Yes, we could do a roll call on that. Councilman Alo,
Yes.
Councilman Amendola,
No.
Councilman Kraus,
Yes.
Councilman Crown,
Yes.
Councilman Lavasser,
Yes.
Councilwoman Perry,
Yes.
and Councilman Saba.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-1.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Did we need to vote on the bill list?
Pardon me?
Did we need to vote on the bill list?
No, that was part of the, excuse me.
Go ahead, Claudia.
I was going to say that the consent agenda, which is a slightly different form that we've been using, covers both the approval of the minutes and the bill list.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Next item here, tax 2021 tax millage. Motion to move to adopt ordinance 1670, setting the real estate millage rate for property for 2021. All
So moved.
Seconded.
right. Questions, comments? This represents an increase from 2021, from 2020 to 2021 of 1 mil. Manager, could you detail?
Yeah, so we had a raise in both the millage on the general fund and road fund of a total mill. And this is going towards the bond issue, which we previously voted upon.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll have a roll call for this as well.
Okay. Mr. Alo,
Yes.
Mr. Amendola,
No.
I apologize. I know we're in mid roll call, but we did make a first and second on this motion.
Yes.
Okay, good. I got, I
Perry and
apologize.
Crown.
Okay,
Perry and Crown.
Yeah.
gotcha. Thank you. Councilman Kraus,
Yes.
Councilman Crown,
Yes.
Councilman Lavasser,
Yes.
Councilwoman Perry,
Yes.
and Councilman Saba.
No.
Okay, motion passes 5-2.
Excuse me.
Yes, Mr.
Doug?
Amendola.
You
Yes.
said that was 5-2?
Yes, but
Is that what you said?
yourself and Mr. Saba voting in the negative.
Who else vote? Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, 2021 fee resolution. Motion to move to adopt resolution 2020 -20, adopting the fee schedule for the year 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Hearing none, let's do a roll call on this just so we can, we'll just do roll calls for everything up to solid waste. So, okay,
Okay, fair. Councilman Alo,
Yes.
Councilman Amendola,
Yes.
Councilman Kraus,
Yes.
Councilman Crown,
Yes.
Councilman Lavasser,
yes.
Councilwoman Perry,
Yes.
and Councilman Saba.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right, thank you. 2021 wage resolution motion. Move to adopt resolution 2021, adopting the wages for non-union employees for the year of 2021.
So moved.
Second.
All right, roll call.
Councilman Ayla.
I have a question.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Question.
you have the floor.
Okay, I didn't know that we came to an agreement on what the wages were gonna be for the non-employee or non-union employees. I think the money was budgeted, but I don't remember being in a meeting where we discussed what their new wages for 21 are gonna be.
That at the last executive session, we agreed to do a 10% increase for the two administrative staff that we have.
We did?
Yeah, Mr.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any other questions on that matter? All right, proceed to roll call.
Councilman Ayla.
No.
Councilman Amendola.
Your mic's on. You're on mute.
Yes.
Yes? Okay, that's an affirmative vote. Okay, thank you, Councilman. Councilman Kraus?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Crown?
Yes.
Councilman Lavasser?
Yes.
Councilman Perry?
Yes.
And Councilman Saab.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-1.
All right, thank you. Next one, waste management contract. Motion to move to adopt option year 2 of the solid waste and recycling contract with Waste Management.
So moved.
Second.
All right, I'm just going to use this as a public service announcement. Everybody, please note that you have the ability for electronics and chemical waste disposal. If you call, then we pay for that out of this contract. So please use it. You need to get rid of household chemicals and the like.
Mr.
Again,
President, so what you're saying is not to put it on the curb. Is that correct?
right, it does not belong in that waste stream, and you don't have to leave these chemicals sitting around in your basement or in your garage. If you need to get rid of them, call them. They'll send you the appropriate container, and they'll come pick it up at your door with a box truck. So please use the service that we're paying for. Mr. Saba?
Just two things kind of to expand on what you were saying. On the Borough website, there's actually a very helpful PDF as to what can and cannot be, what's included in our service. Definitely take advantage of what we have. Just question, so this contract includes that for recycling, that glass will be included as well? Is that correct?
Correct. There's no change to the service.
Great, thank you.
Affirmative, yes.
All right.
We have a first and second. Were there any other questions?
I don't think so. I don't see any other hands. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, all that oppose? Hearing none, I oppose. Motion passes. We're gonna do a roll call on the next motion as well. Release and separation agreement. Motion to move to ratify the separation and release agreement between Russell McKibben and the Borough of Crafton.
So
moved.
Second.
Seconded.
If there's any questions on this matter, we'd have to go to an executive session. Is that correct, Ms. Malik?
Yes, personal matters should be discussed in executive session.
I have a question, but it's not personal.
All right, please proceed.
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Amendola, you have the floor.
Yes. How was this done before we had a chance to discuss it in an executive session? I mean, how was it done 2 weeks ago? Without it coming to an executive session and all of the council people being aware of it?
So, simple answer, I called up every member of council and,
No, you didn't.
can I finish?
No, you didn't.
Can I finish? All right.
Well,
For those of you
no,
that,
but I'm
I
going
was
to point
able-
out your inaccuracies.
all right, thank you. For those of you that I was able to get a hold of, all right, there
There
was
you go.
support for the, thank you, right.
I'd like
there
to
was-
call a point of order, Mr. President. If we're going to have more than one person talking, it's going to be very hard for folks to follow along in the conversation. So if we could use our mute buttons that are provided in the software, that would be great.
All right, so given the circumstances, there was support to engage in this agreement. And then we had an executive session with all of council after the agreement was presented to the employee.
I
All righty.
disagree with it, but okay.
All right, thank you. All right, I don't see any other hands raised. I'm going to pursue to a roll call vote.
Councilman Ayla,
Yes.
Councilman Amendola,
No,
Councilman Kraus,
Yes.
Councilman Crown,
Yes.
Councilman Lavasser,
Yes.
Councilwoman Perry,
No,
and Councilman Saba.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-2.
All right, thank you. All right, moving forward, interim manager appointment. Motion to appoint Douglas Sample as the interim borough manager.
So moved.
I second that.
I'd like the roll call vote on this as well. Any questions?
Well, just as a point of order, I'd also state that this is another personnel matter and such discussion would have to occur in executive session.
Correct. I don't see any hands raised yet. All right, moving forward to motion, or all in favor?
let's do roll call.
Roll call.
Right.
Councilman Ayla,
Yes.
Councilman Amendola,
yes,
Councilman Kraus,
Yes.
Councilman Crown,
Yes.
Councilman Lavasser,
Yes.
Councilwoman Perry,
Yes,
and Councilman Saba.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes 7-0. Thank you very much.
right. Thank you
I'm
for
proud,
being.
I'm proud again to serve the Borough of Crafton.
Thank you, Mr. Sample. Appreciate to have you here. All right. Meeting schedule for 2021. Motion to authorize interim borough manager to advertise the 2021 meeting schedule for the second and fourth Thursday of each month, starting at 7:15 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Second it.
All right. So we tried making a go at this at the beginning of the year. However, there were some schedule conflicts, and I believe the administrative office is going to be able to resolve those. From everybody that I polled, this seemed to work. I know it's not the perfect day, but I think it's a better day than having everything crammed in on a Monday.
Well said. I'd like to call for a vote.
All right. All in favor?
aye.
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 I have my hand is raised.
Oh,
I
I'm
was
sorry.
about to call the point of order because he had his hand raised.
My apologies, Fred.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that, Fred. Go ahead.
So in what meeting was this discussed, that we were going to change the night of the meetings? When was that discussed with all of council?
So we had a conversation. Well, we had a conversation
We
at the
had a
beginning of the.
conversation
I'm answering your question. Would you
beginning
like
of the
me-
year?
No, I'd like to call for a point of order for clarification. Isn't tonight the night that the motion is on the agenda and therefore is being discussed with all members of council?
Correct.
That is correct.
So
And-
the answer is it's being discussed now for a point of order, so I can clarify?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. The member has the floor.
Thank you. So, Mr. Amendola, we had a conversation at the beginning of the year, all right? And I saw fit with the conversation with the interim manager here to bring it to the agenda again so we could agree to make a change, given that we were able to make some schedule adjustments elsewhere. So it's the motion that I put forth on the agenda. So, and that's why you have this opportunity to talk about it now.
Okay, hey, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Is everyone on this council in agreement with that?
Yeah, if I could have the floor, I would say I'm in agreement of it. You know, I think with the online meeting format, I think it's very easy for us to meet on a Thursday rather than a Monday. I know for me personally, it works better for my schedule. I know that, you know, for some folks, it's not the best to have a meeting on the Monday. And so I would implore all members of council to support this motion to change the date. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Saba.
So I know originally when we had discussed this at the beginning of the year, part of the reason why we couldn't change it, I believe Charisma brought it to our attention that in the community center, there is a dance organization that utilizes that space. And if we were to have the meetings, I believe we were looking at Thursday at that time as well, we would have had folks making quite a bit of noise right next to the council chambers. But I know the reason why, you know, in favor of Thursdays is Thursdays tend to be a little bit easier for more folks to be able to attend. It gives them an opportunity, and also gives our office staff an opportunity to have items prepared and ready to go for the meetings versus trying to rush on a Monday morning to finalize stuff for a meeting on Monday evening. So I believe this would allow us to give us more time to prepare for the meetings. And from my understanding is that Solicitor Corbel schedule changed a little bit. So this would help to allow him to attend our meetings as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't say that's the primary driver. He was actually flexible with us. I mean, we could go either way. But I know personally, we front load the beginning of the week, and it's really hard on the office to get everything ready. So hopefully this will allow us to get the agendas out timely and have all the items prepared. So it's really to provide for more flexibility to management to get us what we need. Ms. Perry.
Yeah, I think I've expressed that it's not my favorite night, but understanding everybody else's considerations, and particularly the administrative office, I've agreed to adapt my schedule.
Thank you, Ms. Perry. Appreciate that. All right. Seeing no other hands raised, I'm going to call for a vote.
Fred has his hand up. He needs to finish his, yeah, if you could let him have the floor.
Yep, Mr. Amendola.
It's nice to have an open discussion with all of council members here. And I'd be in agreement with this. That's fine. You all had some very good reasons for the Thursday night thing, and it sounds good. It's good to have an open discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Amendola. And for all you football fans, hopefully there's no football conflicts.
Well, there is Thursday night football now, so we couldn't schedule a day. There's football every day, so.
Sorry, tried. All right.
For the interjection, I'd like to ask the chair if we could have a vote.
Yep. All in favor
Aye.
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 All that oppose? Hearing none that oppose, motion passes. All right. Borough Auditor Appointment. Motion to adopt Resolution 2020-2022, appointing Mar Dussel as the auditor for fiscal year 2020 for the Borough of Crafton.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Amendola, your hand's raised.
No, I'm sorry. I'll take it down. There, it's down, right?
Yes. All right. Mr. Saba.
So just for clarification, Mark Dussel is the auditor that the borough's continuously used year after year, correct?
Yeah, there's no change.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? I don't see other hands raised. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All that oppose? Hearing none that oppose, motion passes. Thank you. I'm going to proceed to the community announcements. The borough office will remain closed to the public. However, staff is available during normal business hours and can be reached via telephone or email. There is a drop box in the rear of the building for any written correspondence. Any changes to this action will be posted on the borough website and Savvy Citizen. The Crafton Library is open with COVID-19 safety limitations in place Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., Tuesday, Thursday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Please visit their website for further details. Does that still apply?
I believe they're doing curbside pickup and contactless pickup as well.
Okay, but they're not having patrons in.
As far as I know, inside is closed, but I would verify on their website
All
as
right.
things continue to change weekly.
All right. Okay. Crafton's first annual celebration of lights has started and will be benefiting the Crafton Ingram Food Bank. The self-guided tour will run through January 3rd and tickets can be purchased online and will be mailed to you. Mr. Sabo, could you speak a little more to this?
So on Saturday was the first night of the celebration of lights. It is a self-guided tour. So if you do go to the website, you are able to donate. There is no set amount. You are more than welcome to donate as much as you'd like. And a code will be sent to you to be able to, and instructions on how to download the app as well how to access it. I will say that the rec board as well as the elves and public works had spent a lot of time, as well as the many residents that are participating and residents who are not on the tour have decorated. And I have done it. It is absolutely wonderful to see some of the homes and some of the history, some of the rich history that we have in Crafton. We have some homes that are really unique. So there are some pictures of inside the homes as well as stories about the houses as well, and it's a great family fun event that is COVID friendly. Load up the kids in the car, turn on the audio and drive through Crafton and really get to know our neighborhood that we call home.
For a point of clarification, it's that the instructions will be emailed. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
And I will say so far, we have raised a little bit over $1,000 just this weekend for the food bank. So it looks like we are going to be exceeding what we were raised for Halloween. So just wanted to say thank you to every single person that's donated so far and every single person that will donate going forward.
Thank you. All right, great job, everybody. Santa comes to town by fire truck on Saturday, December 19th, beginning at 9:15 a.m. Santa and Mrs. Claus and the Crafton Volunteer Fire Departments will tour the streets of Crafton by fire truck. And let me say this, is there a new fire truck in the firehouse, Mr. Crown? The event will finish in Crafton by noon and then visit the Thornburg and Roslyn farms. Santa will be passing out candy and we politely ask anyone coming out to wear a mask. So Mr. Crown, why don't you give everybody the good news about our new piece of wonderful equipment?
Yeah, the new rescue engine was delivered last Friday. This past Monday, it went out to finish getting lettered and decaled. And once it'll be back in, hopefully before Christmas. and it'll be ready for service somewhere around the first of the year.
That is excellent. All right, well, I hope that asset provides us many years of service, and hopefully it doesn't have to go to too many incidents. So with that, thank you very much. I'm going to adjourn the meeting. Happy holidays. We won't be back here for probably so close to a month, so enjoy the time off, everyone. And if there's any matters for council, I will be reaching out to you, or the interim manager will. So again, thank you all, and have a happy holidays.
Happy holidays,
Happy
everyone.
holidays all.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Jimmy, and to all a good night. Keep that train